Look around at the men in your life, your friends, your colleagues, guys you grew up with. Notice something interesting. Some are thriving. They're growing, building, moving forward, even when life gets hard. Some are just existing, going through the motions, comfortable but unfulfilled. And others, they're stuck in a cycle of blame, resentment, and wondering why life isn't working out. Here's the truth. Every man falls into one of three categories. And before you think this doesn't apply to you, understand this. Which category you're in determines everything. Your relationships, your career, your health, your happiness, your legacy. The good news? You're not stuck in any category forever. The bad news? Most men never even realize which category they're in, so they never make the shift. Today, I'm going to break down the three types of men. I'm going to show you the characteristics of each, how they think, how they behave, and most importantly, how to recognize which one you are right now. Then we'll talk about how to level up if you need to. Fair warning, this is going to be uncomfortable. You might see yourself in a category you don't like. That's the point. Self-awareness is the first step to change. So let's dive in. The three types of men are the victim, the drifter, and the builder. Which one are you? Type number 1, the victim. And let's start with type 1, the victim. And before you get defensive, hear me out. This isn't about judging anyone. It's about recognizing patterns. The victim mindset. The victim operates from a fundamental belief that life is happening to him, not for him. He sees himself as powerless against circumstances, other people, bad luck, or the system. Everything wrong in his life is someone else's fault. His relationships failed, it was her fault. She was crazy, toxic, didn't appreciate him. Can't get ahead at work? His boss doesn't like him. The company doesn't recognize talent. The system is rigged. Out of shape? He doesn't have time, can't afford a gym, has bad genetics. Broke? The economy sucks. Rich people have all the advantages. Nobody ever gave him a chance. See the pattern? The victim always has an external explanation for his internal problems. Now, here's what's insidious about victim mentality. It's comfortable. It removes responsibility. If nothing is your fault, you never have to change. You get to be right about how unfair everything is, but you also get to stay exactly where you are. Characteristics of the victim. The victim has several telltale signs. First, he complains constantly. Every conversation somehow circles back to what's wrong, what's unfair, who screwed him over. He's exhausting to be around because he drains energy rather than creates it. Second, he compares himself to others, but only to feel worse. Of course he's successful. His dad had connections. She only got promoted because of diversity hiring. He doesn't see other people's success as possible for himself. He sees it as evidence that the game is rigged. Third, he waits for external solutions to internal problems. He's waiting for someone to recognize his potential, for the perfect opportunity to appear, for circumstances to align. He doesn't create, he waits to be saved. Fourth, he collects evidence of how hard his life is. Every setback becomes another piece of proof that the universe is against him. He has stories ready to explain why he can't, why he's stuck, why it's different for him, why the rules don't apply the same way. And fifth, this is the big one. He rejects advice and help. Offer him a solution and watch how quickly he explains why it won't work for him. Because accepting help means accepting responsibility, and that threatens the entire victim narrative. Why do men become victims? How does someone become a victim? Usually, it starts with real pain. Maybe he did get a bad hand, abusive childhood, traumatic experience, genuine hardship. These things are real and they matter. But here's the crucial difference. The victim takes that painful past and makes it his permanent identity. He goes from bad things happen to me to I am a victim. And once that becomes your identity, you're stuck. Because if you're a victim, you're powerless. And if you're powerless, why try? It's also reinforced by modern culture that constantly tells men they're victims of society, of expectations, of women, of the economy, of older generations. There's always someone to blame, always a reason why it's not your fault. And here's the most dangerous part. Victim mentality spreads. The victim surrounds himself with other victims. They reinforce each other's narratives. They sit around agreeing about how unfair everything is, and nobody challenges anyone to actually do anything about it. The cost of being a victim. What's the real cost of living as a victim? First, you give away all your power. If nothing is your fault, nothing is in your control. You become a passenger in your own life, just reacting to whatever happens. Second, you repel high-quality people. Successful, growth-oriented people don't want to be around constant negativity. They'll try to help once, maybe twice, but eventually they move on. So the victim ends up surrounded by other victims, creating an echo chamber of helplessness. Third, you never develop genuine confidence, because confidence comes from overcoming challenges, from proving to yourself that you can handle difficulty. The victim never gets that. He just accumulates resentment instead of evidence of his capability. Fourth, opportunities pass you by, because opportunity looks like work to the victim. It looks like risk, like potential failure, like something that might not work out. So he lets it go by while complaining that opportunities never come his way. And finally, and this is the hardest truth, you waste your life. Years go by. You're the same person, in the same place, with the same complaints. And one day you wake up and realize you spent your entire life waiting for life to be fair instead of making something of it anyway. The wake-up call. If you're seeing yourself in this category, here's what you need to understand. You are not actually powerless. You never were. Yes, bad things happen. Yes, life was unfair. Yes, you got dealt a harder hand than some people. All of that can be true, and you can still be responsible for what you do next. The moment you take responsibility is the moment you get your power back. Because responsibility and power are the same thing. If it's your fault, it's your problem. If it's your problem, you can solve it. I'm not saying everything that happened to you is your fault. I'm saying everything that happens next is your responsibility. The victim sees this as harsh. The builder sees it as liberating. Escaping victim mentality. If you want to escape victim mentality, you need to do 3 things. First, stop complaining. Completely. For 30 days, no complaints. Watch what happens when you can't blame anyone for anything. You'll be forced to find solutions instead. Second, change your language. Replace "I can't" with "I haven't figured out how yet." Replace "it's not fair" with "it is what it is. What am I going to do about it?" And third, take one action, any action, towards solving your biggest problem. Not a perfect action, not a guaranteed action, just movement. Because the victim is paralyzed, the first step is just moving. All right, that's the victim. Let's talk about type 2, the drifter. And this is probably the largest category of men. And it's the sneakiest because the drifter isn't obviously failing like the victim. He's fine. And that's exactly the problem. The drifter mindset. The drifter is the guy who's going through the motions. He has a job, not a career he's passionate about, just a job that pays the bills. He has hobbies, not pursuits that challenge him, just ways to kill time. He has relationships, not deep connections, just people he's around. He's not miserable, but he's not fulfilled either. He's comfortable, and comfortable is the most dangerous place to be. The drifter doesn't have a clear vision for his life. If you ask him where he sees himself in 5 years, he'll give you some vague answer. Probably doing what I'm doing now, just, better. He doesn't set real goals. He doesn't have a mission. He's just drifting. His life is on autopilot. Wake up, go to work, come home, watch TV, scroll social media, go to bed. Weekends are for recovering from the week and getting ready for the next one. Repeat. Years go by like this. The scary part? The drifter often doesn't realize he's a drifter. He thinks he's doing fine. He's not failing, after all. He's just existing. Characteristics of the drifter. Here's how to recognize a drifter. First, He's reactive, not proactive. He responds to life as it comes, but doesn't actively shape it. He takes the job offer that comes his way rather than pursuing what he actually wants. He dates whoever shows interest rather than pursuing who he's actually interested in. He follows the path of least resistance. Second, he seeks comfort over growth. Not in the destructive way the victim does, but in a gentle, silent way. He chooses easy over challenging, familiar over new, comfortable over transformative. He's not avoiding pain out of fear, he's avoiding effort out of apathy. He has potential, but no commitment. The drifter is often talented, intelligent, capable, but he never fully commits to anything. He dabbles. He starts things and doesn't finish. He has ideas, but doesn't execute. He's interested in everything and committed to nothing.
Fourth, he's waiting for passion to strike. He thinks one day he'll just wake up feeling passionate about something, and then he'll pour himself into it. But that day never comes, because passion is cultivated through engagement, not discovered through waiting. Fifth, he rationalizes his mediocrity. I'm happy with a simple life. I don't need to be rich or successful. I'm not hurting anyone. These aren't authentic values, they're justifications for not trying. Because if you convince yourself you don't want more, you never have to risk failure trying to get it. And sixth, this is the most telling sign, he's bored. Not occasionally bored, existentially bored. Bored with his job, his routine, his relationships, himself, but he doesn't do anything about it. He just accepts boredom as the price of adulthood. How does someone become a drifter? Usually, it's death by 1,000 comfortable choices. Every small decision to take the easy path, to not rock the boat, to stay where it's safe. None of these decisions feel significant in the moment, but they compound. You take a job you don't love because it's good money and you need stability. You stay in a relationship that's fine because starting over seems exhausting. You skip the gym because you're tired. You don't pursue that business idea because you're already comfortable enough. You don't learn that skill because you don't technically need it. Each choice makes sense individually, but collectively they create a life of moderate everything and excellence at nothing. The drifter also gets validated by society. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Stable job, decent income, maybe a house, maybe a family. On paper, he's successful. But inside, he feels hollow. And here's the trap. The longer you drift, the scarier it becomes to change. You've built this comfortable life. To pursue something meaningful would require risk. Risking the job, the lifestyle, the identity, the comfort. So you keep drifting, telling yourself, maybe next year. The cost of being a drifter. What does it cost to live as a drifter? First, you never discover your potential. You go your entire life wondering, what if? What if I'd actually tried? What if I had committed? What if I had taken that risk? You die with your music still in you. Second, you experience quiet desperation. It's not the loud pain of the victim. It's a subtle, constant background noise. Is this all there is? You wake up fine, go to bed fine, but you're never truly alive. Third, you lose respect from others and from yourself. Deep down, you know you're capable of more, and so does everyone around you. That erodes self-respect slowly but surely. Fourth, you become invisible. The drifter doesn't stand for anything, doesn't create anything memorable, doesn't leave a mark. He's just there. And then one day, he's not. And very little changes. And fifth, you miss the point of life. Life isn't about comfort. It's not about finding the easiest path. It's about growth, contribution, becoming someone. The drifter exchanges potential significance for guaranteed mediocrity. The wake-up call. If you're recognizing yourself as a drifter, here's what you need to know. You're at a crossroads. You can keep drifting and wake up at 60 realizing you never actually lived, or you can make a decision right now, today, to stop drifting and start building. The shift from drifter to builder isn't about massive change overnight. It's about making different choices. Deliberate choices. Uncomfortable choices. It's about asking yourself, if I were actually trying to build the life I want, what would I do differently? And then doing that thing. The drifter waits for motivation. The builder acts first and lets motivation follow. The drifter is comfortable with where he is. The builder is uncomfortable with staying there. Escaping drifter mode. If you want to stop drifting and start building, here's what to do. First, get clear on what you actually want. Not what you think you should want, what you actually want. Write it down. Make it specific. Give yourself a target to aim at. Second, make one committed choice. Not 10 things, one thing. Pick the most important area of your life and commit to excellence in it. Pour yourself completely into it. Third, create urgency. The drifter thinks he has forever. He doesn't. None of us do. Act like your time matters because it does. All right, that's the drifter.
Now we get to type 3, the builder. This is who you want to become. This is the man who creates instead of consumes, who builds instead of drifts, who takes responsibility instead of blaming. The builder mindset. The builder operates from a fundamentally different place than the victim or drifter. He understands something crucial. Life is not happening to him or around him, it's being created by him. The builder knows that everything in his life, the good and the bad, is either a direct result of his choices or his response to circumstances. He doesn't waste time asking, "Why did this happen?" He asks, "What am I going to do about it?" He's not waiting for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or ideal circumstances. He's building with whatever he has, right now. He knows that perfect conditions never come. Progress happens through action, not through waiting. The builder has a clear vision. He knows what he's building toward. Not every detail, not every step, but he knows the direction. He has standards for himself. He has goals that scare him. He has a mission that's bigger than comfort. And here's the key difference. The builder is comfortable being uncomfortable. He actually seeks discomfort because he knows that's where growth lives. He doesn't avoid hard conversations, challenging workouts, difficult decisions, or uncertain outcomes. He runs toward them. Here's what sets the builder apart. First, he takes radical responsibility. Everything is his to handle. Not his fault, necessarily, but his responsibility. Problem at work? He solves it. Relationship issue? He addresses it. Not in shape? He trains. No excuses, just solutions. Second, he's disciplined, not just motivated. The builder doesn't wait to feel like doing things. He has systems, routines, and non-negotiables that he follows regardless of how he feels. His discipline creates his results, and those results occasionally create motivation, but he never depends on motivation to act. Third, he invests in himself constantly. The builder reads, learns, trains, grows. He sees himself as his most valuable asset and treats himself accordingly. He's always working on his mind, his body, his skills, his character. Fourth, he plays long-term games. The builder makes decisions based on who he wants to be in 5 years, not how he feels today. He delays gratification. He plants seeds knowing he won't see the harvest immediately. And fifth, he creates value. The builder doesn't just consume or take, he produces and gives. He builds businesses, creates art, solves problems, helps people, leaves things better than he found them. He's generative. Sixth, he's comfortable with failure. The builder knows failure is just feedback. He tries, fails, learns, adjusts, and tries again. He's failed more than the victim and drifter have even attempted.
That's why he's successful. And seventh, this is crucial. He has a mission bigger than himself. The builder isn't just building for himself. He's building for his family, his community, his legacy. He's driven by contribution, not just achievement. What makes someone a builder? Often it's hitting rock bottom and choosing to climb. Many builders were once victims who got tired of being powerless, or drifters who woke up and realized years had passed. Sometimes it's seeing a vision of what's possible and becoming obsessed with making it real. The builder catches a glimpse of who he could become and can't unsee it. Sometimes it's suffering something that forces growth. Loss, failure, hardship, these can destroy you or forge you. The builder chooses to be forged. But here's the truth. Anyone can become a builder. It's not genetics, circumstances, or luck. It's about decision. You decide you're done being a victim of life. You decide you're done drifting. You decide to build. What do you gain by becoming a builder? First, you get your power back. You're no longer at the mercy of circumstances or other people. You're the active force in your life. That's freedom. Second, you develop genuine confidence. Not fake confidence from affirmations or motivation videos. Real confidence earned through proving to yourself that you can handle hard things. Third, you attract high-quality people. Builders attract other builders. You end up surrounded by people who challenge you, support you, and push you to grow. Your entire network elevates. Fourth, you create opportunities instead of waiting for them. When you're building, opportunities appear because you're creating value, making noise, putting yourself out there. Luck finds builders because builders are in motion. And fifth, you find meaning. Building toward something bigger than yourself gives life purpose. You're not just existing or consuming, you're contributing. That's what makes life worth living. And finally, you create a legacy. The builder doesn't just pass through life, he leaves evidence that he was here. He impacts people, creates things, solves problems. When he's gone, people remember what he built. So if you want to become a builder, here's what you need to do. First, take radical responsibility starting today. Stop blaming, stop complaining, stop waiting. Everything from this moment forward is yours to handle. Own it. Second, get clear on your vision. What are you building? Who are you becoming? Write it down. Make it specific. This is your North Star. Third, build discipline. Pick one area, fitness, career, skill development, and become obsessive in consistency in that area. Let discipline in one area bleed into others. Fourth, invest in yourself daily. Read for 30 minutes. Train your body. Learn a skill. Every single day, become 1% better. And fifth, take action before you're ready. The builder doesn't wait for perfect conditions. He moves with what he has, learns as he goes, adjusts as needed. And sixth, find other builders. You become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by victims and drifters, you'll stay stuck. Find builders and plug into their energy. Now, here's the crucial part. These aren't permanent labels. You're not forever stuck as any type. But you also don't just accidentally become a builder. There's a process, a transition that requires conscious choice and sustained effort. The path from victim to drifter usually happens when the pain of being a victim finally outweighs the comfort of blaming others. You stop actively complaining and blaming, but you haven't yet actively started building. You're in neutral, not going backwards anymore, but not moving forward either. This is progress, but it's not the destination. The transition from drifter to builder is the most important shift. It happens when you realize that fine isn't actually fine. When you understand that you're capable of more and you're insulting yourself by settling for less. This transition requires a decision, a real, committed decision to stop drifting and start building. Not tomorrow, today. Now, here's what nobody tells you. Even builders can slide back. You can slip into drifter patterns when life gets comfortable. You can fall into victim patterns when life gets hard. The difference is that a builder recognizes it quickly and course corrects. He doesn't stay there. He catches himself, takes responsibility, and gets back to building. The key is awareness. You can't fix what you can't see. So which one are you? Be honest with yourself. Not which one you want to be, or which one you think you should be. Which one are you actually being right now? Honest self-assessment. Are you blaming others for your problems? Complaining about how unfair things are? Waiting for someone to rescue you? That's victim energy. Are you comfortable but unfulfilled? Going through the motions without real purpose? Letting life happen instead of making life happen? That's drifter energy. Or are you actively building something, taking responsibility, making hard choices, investing in yourself daily? That's builder energy. And here's the truth. You might be different types in different areas of your life. Maybe you're a builder in your career, but a victim in your relationships. Maybe you're a drifter in your health, but a builder in your finances. That's normal, but you need to see it clearly. The beautiful and terrifying truth is that becoming a builder is a choice. It's available to anyone at any time, regardless of circumstances. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need anyone's approval. You just need to decide, and then prove that decision through your actions every single day. The victim waits for life to change. The drifter hopes things will get better. The builder makes it happen. So, here's my challenge to you. Pick one area of your life right now where you're being a victim or a drifter. Just one. And for the next 30 days, be a builder in that area. Take full responsibility, make a plan, execute consistently,